So the topic that I want to focus on is small beginnings. And yeah.
We live in this cookie cutter microwave society now where everyone wants things instantaneously. I feel like one of the biggest reasons for that is social media. Small beginnings is taking that first step. It's looking dumb on stage, it's looking dumb on camera.
Like there's probably a reel that's in your phone right now that you haven't posted. You are the least known that you will ever be, like right now. So literally just do it, like let it fly. We are in the days of small beginnings, but that does not mean that you are small. I feel like we should all feel the permission to take up space.
Because it's easy to see what someone else is doing and how big they're doing it, and then you're comparing it to what you're doing. And it does make you feel kind of small sometimes. If my father is the God of the universe, I made in his image and likeness, who am I to show up to these places small?
Yeah, come on.
As his child.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hitting Your Mark, a show where I get to sit down with creative people who I believe are definitely hitting their mark. Now, before we even get into the conversation on today, there's one thing that I need you to do. If you're rocking with your boy, hit that like button. Now, if you don't rock with me, just keep it pushing, right? Like, just keep going. But if you claim that you rock with me and you like what we got going on here, please hit that like button. It definitely goes a long way, and I do appreciate you. Well, I'm excited for today's episode because today I have my very first returning guest, and that guest is none other than my brother, my guy, Asher Labastri.
What's up, my boy?
Come on now.
Sir.
How you doing, man? You
Doing good, man.
Come on, thanks for being on the platform once
Glad
again.
to be back again.
Yeah.
Glad to be back.
Yes, sir.
It feels good. It feels good.
It feels good?
Yeah.
Oh, you getting more comfortable in front of the camera?
Absolutely.
Stuff, you know, as the behind the scenes guy? Yeah.
I've been seeing this dude post so much on Instagram, and it's actually inspiring me and kind of pushing me to be like, yo, you got to put content out there.
Come on,
you got to tell people what it is that you do.
Exactly.
And I'm seeing you show up consistent, and it's challenging me to be consistent. So shout out to you, my boy.
Bro, thank you for that. No, shout out to you for saying that. Because sometimes, like, it's crazy how, like, perspective is everything, right? Like, for me, I feel like I haven't done that much. Like, I'd be like, man, I'm slacking on social media. I'm like, I really need to do it for real. But now for you to say, yo, Ben, what you're doing on social media is inspiring me.
Yeah, big time.
It's just crazy. But that's good that you said that. I feel like that's going to dive in. That's going to help us out a little bit in the conversation that we have today.
For sure.
So the topic that I want to focus on is small beginnings. And yeah. Yeah. You know, I feel like I am in the days of small beginnings. I don't know about you. You know, yeah, you think so? I know that I'm definitely in the days of small beginnings, and we definitely have viewers that are in those days. And I feel like that'll be a good conversation to have, something that'll kind of encourage everybody in this journey. I know that we tapped into it a little bit in our last interview. And you said something. You said, don't despise the days of small beginnings, which is scripture, right? What does that phrase like mean for real? Like, what does that even mean?
I feel like when we embark on any destination or any goal, there needs to be some type of plan, some type of foundation first.
Okay.
We live in this cookie cutter microwave society now where everyone wants things instantaneously. And we can go deeper on this, but I feel like one of the biggest reasons for that is social media. We're seeing everyone's success right away.
Right.
Constantly, every day, we're being inundated with everyone's success and how big they're doing things.
Yeah.
And we completely aren't seeing what's going on in the background. We're not seeing the years of work that was put on beforehand.
Come on now.
So small beginnings is taking that first step. It's looking dumb on stage. It's looking dumb on camera.
Yeah.
It's having things go wrong in the beginning. It's receiving 1,000 no's until you get that one yes.
Come on now.
That is what small beginnings look like. And the Bible even says how God rejoices in those small beginnings.
Yeah, because he's with you, right? And he rejoices because you started.
Exactly.
Like you started that gift that he's planted in you, you've actually done it.
Yeah.
One thing that you kind of mentioned a little bit too, it's crazy that like anything big like started small. Like anything that you look at, like it started small. Like look at Apple, which is like the biggest software company. It started off in a garage, right? Like anything big, really, it started off small. But why do you think that it is that we hate like small beginnings? Like why do you feel like it is that way?
Keep it in the buck, it sucks. It sucks. Yeah. You don't know if it's gonna work. And then it's like, why would anyone, like rightfully so, want to put in all this work, all this time, and all this effort for something that might potentially not work? Which I feel like is like 80% of what being an entrepreneur is. It's embarking to fail only to eventually at some point succeed. And I don't think a lot of people can really accept that. And there's something that I had to deal with on myself where a lot of people fantasize about what things can be and what they look like. And that alone is fun.
Right, yeah.
Just to fantasize.
Yeah.
But when it actually comes to time to put in that work, that's where you see a bunch of people fall off.
Come on now.
And I think that's why a lot of people despise those small beginnings, because it's not fun. It's boring. It's all the boring stuff.
Yeah.
So I am now in the process of like really putting together a production company and building it out properly. It's boring.
Yeah.
Building out a website, having processes and things in place when I bring on clients, having all that stuff set up. It's boring.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of it that you don't understand. Like, you just want to do the fun stuff, the creative part of it. That's what everyone wants to do, specifically in this like camera space that we're in.
Right.
We all want to do the creative, but no one wants to take time to, did you set up your LLC?
Come on now.
Did you have a business bank set up and all that already?
Right, yeah.
Is there a tax person? Because you got to pay taxes at the end of the year. Or maybe not pay taxes. Maybe you've done things right where you actually getting a refund on your business.
I wish. Come on, tell me those ways, right?
Yeah. These are the small steps that people want to skip over.
Yeah.
And they just kind of want to have the big booming business and the big flourishing picture and stuff like that on social media. But there's steps that you have to take before you get there.
Exactly. I've actually heard my dad once say before that he was like, you know, God, he's the God of promise, but he's also the God of process.
Yeah.
Like, we feel like that we've heard this promise from God, right? And that's it. Like, now it's like almost like a fairy godmother. Like, I'm gonna snap my fingers and this wish that you gave me, I'm all of a sudden gonna be on stages and do this thing. But like, no, there's actually like a process that's gonna come along with that. You know, there's actually people that have that job that you're looking for. There's people that have that role, that people that are doing those movies that you wanna make.
Yep.
But there's gonna be a process that's gonna take to get there. But you kind of touched on it a little bit. I wanna keep talking about it, but like, what do you think that these small days are really for, right? Like, why do you think God is putting us in these small days? And we feel like there's like a ceiling to us, right? But I think we've touched on it a little bit before, but I think it's really about like your personal development. I think like in these days, it's really your time to get better. Like in these days of anonymity, like where not too many people know you, these are your times for kind of development and to work on your character. You know, I feel like a lot of times we think that God is like getting the opportunity ready, like for us, but really he's getting you ready. Like, we think like, oh yeah, God is
on the head.
Yeah, he's getting that job ready for me. He's getting that stuff ready, but really he's working on you, like, cause you late all the time. You're not nice to people. You like, what else? Like, I'm gonna wait until I hit somebody's. You know, you be oversleeping and stuff. But
you're
like,
a liar. You're bad with money.
What you don't
like,
save?
You don't save.
Like, what? I think he keeps us in these just to keep developing us, not necessarily the opportunity, but he keeps working on us. Is there anything else you want to kind of like touch on that?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think the only thing I can really add to that is there's things that he needs to get off of us to bring us into that next stage. Yes, sir. Because like you were saying, if you go into this next stage as a liar, someone bad with money, you're going to squander it. Right. And you won't be able to sustain that next level.
Come on.
So you have to, like we're going to be talking about deeper, is developing in the dark. You got to put on certain characteristics, and you need to be able to leave certain characteristics behind because they're not going to serve you on that next level.
Right. No, I love that, bro. Where there's a couple of tips that I want to give people, or not really tips, but
hit them with
like,
it. Hit them with it.
Yeah. Or a couple of like encouragements.
Okay.
As we go along on this journey of small beginnings.
Yeah.
And I'll say the first thing is to remember your why. I feel like a lot of times when you get hit with rejection, when you get hit with the no's, or when you do the thing and it doesn't come out how you want it, you can be frustrated and you can be like, oh, well, why am I not getting the likes? Why am I not getting the views? But I think you have to come back to the foundation of it, right? Like, you know, when I put something out, or when I audition for something, right, and I don't get it, you know, I have to remember why I started acting. It's like because I have the love of it and the storytelling, you know. But I think if you put your why into the results, into the likes, into the views and whatnot, then you're gonna put your value in it, you know. But if you remember, no, my why is I want to do this to inspire people. I want to do this to bring people to Christ or what have you. I think you always kind of gotta reflect on that why to kind of encourage you.
Yeah, that's And I think that's problematic in the society that we live here, specifically in the West.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people now are very selfish. So I think a lot of people would give very surface answers to that. They'll tell you what sounds good, myself included. But if you were to ask someone and get to the heart of the matter, I actually would wonder how many people are sincere about, yeah, I'm doing it to add value to other people.
Yeah.
Versus, but your heart probably says, you know, you're doing it because you want to look and be perceived a certain type of way.
Right, yeah.
And it's something that I try to work on like every day. I try to make sure that am I doing this for the right reason? Is my heart posture in the right position for why I'm doing this thing or whatever?
Yeah.
Kind of go down the biblical route really quickly.
Come on now, let's do it. Let's do it.
One of Saul's biggest issues, King Saul, was that he wanted to be perceived a certain type of way.
Come on now.
So when David had the opportunity to kill him and then he asked for forgiveness and whatever, it wasn't because he was actually sorry.
Yeah.
He just wanted to be perceived a certain type of way still and have like, okay, look, I'm King Saul, I'm still a good guy.
Come on
but
now.
he was still an evil man still. Like nothing actually changed.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of lip service going on in today's culture. There's a lot of people showing up not authentically as themselves. We were talking about that a little earlier before the pod started.
Yeah.
And I think people really need to like look themselves in the mirror and ask like, am I showing up as myself today? Or am I showing up as who people am I showing up as someone that I want people to perceive me to believe versus who I actually am?
Say that one more time. Say that.
We as a society need to go look in the mirror and ask ourselves, are we showing up as someone that we want people to perceive us as?
Yeah.
Are we being authentically ourselves? We talked about this on the last pod. I love how every time I hear a podcast with Ryan Coogler, that's Ryan Coogler. He don't switch up his voice. He don't switch up how he dress and his mannerisms. He's authentically Ryan Coogler.
Come on.
And I think we're getting to this dangerous place because of social media and how people want their viewer count and things to perceive them.
Right.
Where they're showing up as this alter ego. But it's like, that's not you.
That's not the real you. Yeah, and yeah, we were kind of like really hitting on that, and it's also like letting go of the idea of perfectionism, right? Of like,
I wanted to hit on that too.
Yeah, letting go of the idea of perfectionism of like, oh, when they see me, I need to be in front of a 4K camera.
Yeah.
Like I need to be crispy and drippy.
Guilty.
Like,
Guilty.
Come on, as a
Guilty.
cinematographer, you're like, yo, if I'm the cinematographer, I gotta show up crispy, right? But I think that hinders you, and you won't ever grow and like put yourself out there because you're like constantly hindered by the idea of perfectionism.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that, bro. We can go on that all day, but let's move on. Hey, we want to take a brief pause from the conversation to talk about the sponsor of today's episode, which is us, A to B. Are you looking to create content, but you don't even know where to begin with the gear? Or maybe you started to create content, but you're trying to up the quality a little bit? Well, this offer is for you.
Stop stressing. We know y'all be stressing about what equipment you need to shoot content. Stop it.
Come on.
We're going to show up with all the equipment you need with the ability to shoot multiple pieces of content across multiple social platforms. This allows you to produce higher quality content, be more efficient,
What else?
and buy back your time.
There you go. Come on now. And we've done this for different people like business owners, entrepreneurs, and even ministries, and the results speak for themselves. So if you're trying to up the quality of your content, hit the link in the description so we can take you from A to B.
Let's go.
Back to the conversation. The second encouragement I would like to leave is don't do it alone. I talked about that on one of my episodes of like finding that partner, finding somebody to do it with, because I feel like when you're in the basement of like your ideas and you're trying to like, you're trying to crack the code by yourself and like things are not working, it can be frustrating. But like if you had somebody to talk to, like a team to be with, so, like people that you were doing it with, it can be a little easier. That's why I really loved my days at SMC when I was like doing acting there. Just like all of us, it just felt like we were just like a troop of actors like together trying to make it, like we would talk about our auditions and auditions that we had coming up, stuff that we didn't get, stuff that we did, and we can like encourage each other. Even when it came to like self-tapes, like, you know, I would do self-tapes for my friend and she would do something for me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like when you're in these days of small beginnings, like you need someone that you're doing it with, because you can't just be all in your head. You need somebody to kind of like grow with you, you know what I'm saying? Do you feel the same way?
100%. I kind of hit on this in the last pod, but like, when I was doing a lot of these solo filming gigs, they're miserable because you're the one setting up the camera, setting up the lights, setting up the audio, and it's all on you, and that's a lot of pressure. And I found it to be so much more enjoyable these past couple years, where I'm kind of like now building out that team, and I have guys that I can like rely on. Like, you just do the audio. You set up the camera, you set up the lights and all that. You have gaffers now, you have first ACs, and you have a bigger team, so now you can kind of focus on the actual lighting and making the picture look good. And just having your team to rely on allows you to actually be better at what you actually want to do. It's not beneficial to try to be good at everything.
Not at all.
I think I even did talk about Henry Ford, the guy who made Ford vehicles. He surrounded himself with people who were smarter than him. He was never the smartest person in the room. And I try to implement that same thing with my filming. I don't want to be the smartest person when I show up on set. I need people who are smarter than me, so that way we can create the best product that we can possibly create. It can't. I don't want everything to rely on me.
Because something.
My ego ain't that big.
And something is gonna fall through the cracks. But I feel like also too, like I think when you have a team, and I think, when you have a team of people around you doing different things, I think, you can focus on that thing that you are good at, right? Like Henry Ford, he might have had people that were smarter than him, but he was probably the best at what he did, you know? Like, say for me, like, I might be a good actor, I might like do okay like behind a camera or something like that, but I don't know too much about marketing, right? Like I need somebody to market me. I need, like, I'm a terrible planner. Like, like I'm not gonna plan, like I'm a doer. Like if you want somebody to do it, I'll do it.
I'll get it done for you.
I'm not gonna be able to plan a thing. That's why, you know, that's something that I struggle with. Like, you know, when it comes to like pre-production and like shot listing and all that. Like, so boom, I need to have an AD or like, you know, somebody around me that does those things. So I think, when you have people around you, you can just focus on those things that you do and keep growing together and keep hitting your mark.
I want to stay there for a moment. I don't know where this came from, but there's this toxic thinking of like, I got it out the mud. I got it. I pulled myself up on the bootstraps. And like, there's this like weird thinking where it's like, it gotta all be me. Everything has to be done by me. There's this song with Drake and Lil Wayne where it was like, I'm the only one that can get the job done. Nobody else do it for me. Something with Harvard.
I know that song. Let's get that drizzy. Let's get that drizzy.
But like, there's like that weird toxic thinking where it's like everything, I have to be the best at every single thing. I can't rely on no one. And I don't think it's beneficial at all.
I don't, the idea of like solopreneur, right? Like, I'm a one-man army, one-man band, you know.
It's not cute.
It's
not cute.
It's not. But really, I don't think it, all the time it isn't really even true though. Like, because I think I've heard like Pastor Mike talk about it. Like, he's like, really, is it all you though? Like, there's got to be somebody with you, like something, like nobody was praying for you, like nobody, you know, like touched you, like you know what I'm saying, like nobody guided you on the way, like it was all you. So some of it isn't true, but it still ain't cute though to do everything yourself. Because that's how you can kind of, you know, get stressed out and all of that stuff. But all right, but next one, that was a good one though. Number 3, the third encouragement I would like to say is, you never know who's watching. You never know who's watching. It's funny, I was, this instance has happened to me a couple of times. I was actually at this church it was in Oceanside, I think. And I was literally leaving out the church. And this dude comes up to me, he's like, hey, Ben, like, when I tell you I've never seen this man before in my life, like never seen.
You know my name.
I was like, hey, what's your name again? I'm like, did I meet you? And he was just like, hey, I've been seeing the content and stuff that you've been posting, man. Love what you're doing. Keep going, right? And it's just like, man, like just the power, first of all, the power of social media is like crazy to me. But also too, like certain people, you can be discouraged, like in these days of small beginnings. You can be like, man, I'm working on this stuff. Nobody's looking at it. Nobody's liking it, you know, but really you just never know. Like somebody out there is watching you and somebody's inspired by what you're doing, you know. Another thing happened to me too. Like I was at this, I used to work for this, or I used to kind of like intern a little bit at this like editing agency. Like this dude, Leo, he liked me. So he would just like bring me some days and just check out the stuff that they're doing. But I remember one day, and like another time, I've never seen this guy before in my life. But he was like, Ben. And I was like, hey.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, like I heard about you, man. Like you do films and, you know, you do a film a year. Like he like basically told me my own story. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, yo, love what you're doing, bro. Keep like, keep going. Like those little nuggets of like encouragement really go a long way. Has that really kind of like happened to you before? Like you just, something that kind of like surprised you?
Yeah, like I would just get like a random text or usually like a DM on Instagram. Where I would post some work. I'd do like, man, I love seeing your progress.
Right.
And it's like, wow, like people really are paying attention to the journey.
Exactly.
Which is why I want to do a better job of documenting the journey. Because even how I was saying in the beginning of this pod, like I'm encouraged by seeing your journey and seeing you show up daily.
Yeah.
You just never know who's watching the journey, and like that's being the push they need to start their own journey.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's just seeing someone that looks like you or come from the same circumstance you come from doing it.
Right, yeah.
Like, oh, I can do it too then.
Exactly.
That's motivation for them. That's fuel for them.
Yeah, right. And I think, when you hear those little things, like it kind of gives you a little wind in your back to keep pushing, you know? Because sometimes when you, this social media game, man, it's crazy. Like you compare yourself a lot, right?
There's pros and cons to it.
There's definitely pros and cons. I'm definitely not here to bash social media and like that, because I use it. I be scrolling. But it's like sometimes you can compare yourself a little bit, right? You might see another actor out there who's posting stuff and his comments is going crazy and like getting all these likes and stuff. Yeah. And yours, might be, I'm not saying that, but it's like, yo, like I don't be getting that type of traction, man. Nobody's looking at my stuff. Like nobody, we get into this absolute right. Like, man, nobody's paying attention. But then when you get those things, you're like, man, like you just never know who's what. Like people are watching and they are inspired. So that's just a little motivation to keep going, even though you're in these days of small beginnings. Yeah. The fourth one I want to talk about is just do it. And however you want to take that however you want. Just post it. Yeah. Like, just write it. Like, there's probably a reel that's in your phone right now that you haven't posted. Yeah. And, like, literally just do it.
That's why I mess with Nike so heavy.
Yeah.
I love the slogan.
Man, the slogan, it could go so many ways.
For real.
I'll say just post it. One thing that I've heard that really blessed me is, like today, like, you are the least known that you will ever be, like, right now. Ooh. Like, we think, like in order to post it, in order to put it out there, in order to release the book, like it has to be perfect. Yeah. Like it has to be right. And it has to be right because everybody's gonna see it, right? Yeah. When I show up to the world, it's gotta be completely right. Yeah. First of all, everybody's not gonna see it. Like that's just a lie.
You ain't that big.
You're not that big. Yeah. These are the days of small beginnings. Yeah. This is the least bit that you're gonna be known today. So literally just do it. Like let it fly. And I have to let that go because like literally, we were talking about it earlier. Like I had Jono record something for me for my Instagram story, which is gonna be gone in 24 hours. Yeah. But I did it like 5 times. Yeah. And if I had more time, I would have probably just kept doing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of us do this because we have this idea of of being perfect, you know. And that's why we don't post this thing. We don't do the thing. Yeah. But I just want to encourage somebody to literally just do it.
Question for you now. So what are some practical things you do to kind of help like that perfectionism? And it even kind of leans itself to like all or nothing thinking, which I definitely struggle heavily with. What are some practical things that you do to kind of combat that? Because as someone who deals with that, it really is hard. Yeah. And you have to be pretty intentional about how you go about handling that. So I would like to hear from you about how you deal with that.
Oh man, thank you. One small thing, say like if like an Instagram story, like I can be doing something on my phone and post it, and like I will keep retaking it. But then I'll tell myself, I'll be like, Ben, it's not that serious. Yeah. you've got one more time, and whatever happens on this time, that's it. You're not doing it. You're not doing it anymore. So sometimes I give myself like that little encouragement. And another thing too is, you know, my new phrase is put a date on it. And I'm telling you, like, it really does work. Like you opening your calendar and like putting a date on something of when you're going to do it, like it makes it real. Like the same way that you put down like a birthday party, the same way that you put in your calendar that you was gonna be here today, is like literally the same way that like you should put in your calendar, I'm gonna post a reel on this day. I'm gonna post a story on this day. Or I'm gonna write one chapter of my book on this day. Like when you see it in your calendar, like it's a real thing. Like if it's just in your head, then it's gonna be that forever, like, it's just gonna be forever in your head, like an idea that you just kind of like, you just keep going on. But when you physically write it down, that kind of helps me a little bit. So like, I think that's a practical tip I would say for anybody. It's just it's literally just put a date on it.
I gotta implement that one for myself with putting it on the calendar. It's like as long as it stays in my head, I guess it doesn't really ever feel real. So.
Right. It's never a real thing. Like it's just an idea. Like it's literally just an idea. Until you actually put a date on it, then it puts your, you know, it kind of puts your foot to the fire a little bit, and then you've lied to yourself. You know.
Write the vision, make it plain. There it is. There it is.
Go back to scripture.
Yeah, always. That's my foundation.
I love it. All right, next one here. Number 5, I would say is fail big. Fail big. We are very scared to fail, but I would say to not only fail, but I think you should fail big. I was watching, man, Tyler Perry has this excellent, he has this great documentary. It's called Maxine's Baby. Have you seen it?
I haven't.
No?
That's that clip you sent me on IG?
No, I think that was just like an interview clip he was doing. But he actually did this documentary called Maxine's Baby. It's great. I highly suggest you watch it. And I suggest you watch it too. Even if you're not into Tyler Perry or like, even if you're not into Tyler Perry.
I got your opinion.
Yeah. Everybody's got their own opinions, even if not into him, but just the story of him. He talks about like how when he first started doing plays, like nobody was coming.
I have heard this.
Like nobody was coming. And renting out venues, like big venues, spending money, putting thousands of dollars up, and nobody showing up. And he was saying at one point, he said, like, I went 7 years, like 7 years of doing the thing, and it just wasn't working. And I look at that, and I think to myself, like, in these days I failed, but I'm like, I haven't failed big enough yet. Like I haven't taken that big leap. You know what I'm saying? There's this theater company that has this phrase. It was like risk, fail, then risk again. Like that's the only way that you're gonna grow. That's the only way that you're gonna get pushed past these days of small beginnings, right? So I think it's really about failing big.
I want to pose a question to your audience too, and I'd love to see what their comments are in the comment section.
Okay.
Where it's like, you're beginning, but then how do you know you're doing something that's even within your purpose of realm? Because there's sometimes where like failure, I feel like could also be a clue that you're not on the right path. So what is the difference between that failure being an indication of like, you should probably pivot versus you're almost there?
That's good.
Like
that's good.
That's always been a tough one for me. And I've asked many people and we got many different answers. So I personally don't even have an answer for that.
Right.
I would actually like to hear your opinion on it, and I definitely want to hear your audience opinion about that specific one.
No, that's a good thought. That's a good thought, because again, like I think, if you were trying to do something for 7 years and then not working out, at some point you're like, man, like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Like God would lay out the red carpet for me, right?
Because I think people, we can get delusional real quick.
True that.
And people take the exceptions and be like, well, he did it.
Yeah.
Not realizing that person was the exception. Ed Sheeran was the exception because apparently he couldn't sing in the beginning, because there was clips that had went out where it was him in the beginning stages singing at some local bar or whatever, and he sounded horrible. But now he sounds great.
Right.
He practiced and got better.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan apparently wasn't always the best basketball player on the team.
Exactly.
And we take these exceptions and we think we are also the exceptions. And it's like, you're never going to be able to sing like Mariah Carey. You'll never be able to dunk the ball like Michael Jordan. So it's like, when do you know, like, you need to pivot? Versus you're almost there. Don't quit.
No. I do feel you. I think it is something that it has to come from God, like, and not from people. Like, I think everybody, you should know that calling from God, like, of what your gifting is. You know, I think you just know, like, what your thing is, and I think that there's always gonna be opposition. Like, that's just like inevitable. I was talking to my dad about it, actually. I think he was reading this book, I think it's called like The Art of War or something like that. But they were talking about literally any time that you set out to do something, there's gonna be opposition. And it came to pass, like, literally when we were talking about it, like, we had set up like, 2:00 we're gonna film like his content. And literally when we were starting to do it, then our gardener comes and he's like literally right next to the door, like with his blower, you know what I'm saying?
Like, bro,
like, So some people might take that and be like, oh well, this is a sign. I'm not supposed to be doing this. This is opposition. But I think what separates those people is the push through, right? So like you said, like the people like Michael Jordan, the people like Kevin Hart, right? Who I talked about, who he auditioned for SNL, right? Like SNL is like the comedy place, right? Like if you made it in comedy, like you are in SNL. You've touched SNL. But Lorne Michaels told him, like, hey, you should choose another career. If he listened to that, we wouldn't know who Kevin Hart is today. But because he pushed through it. So I think if you know that it's your thing, I don't think there's any amount of opposition that is gonna make you stop. I think you're always gonna know that it's an almost there. But if it's something that's out of your, like, if it's out of your, you know, I don't want to say destiny, but out of your calling or part of what's from God, then that's like, it's not you. But I know for sure, like, the opposition that I've gotten is just natural. It's just what's gonna happen. But I know that there's a higher calling on me, so I have to keep pushing through.
Like, people in my house, they be watching American Idol, and I'm like,
oh yeah.
I'm listening to some of these auditions.
Those people are delusional. All right, those
people scare me. There's too many of y'all walking around just delusional.
Those people are delusional.
Yeah, I'm terrified.
Right. All right, man. That was good. I love that one. It felt big. Then the last one I have here, it is last but definitely not least, is to stop playing small. Stop playing small. We are in the days of small beginnings, but that does not mean that you are small. And I feel like because we think that we don't have as many followers, we don't have the title yet, we don't have a big ministry, like, we feel the need to play small, right? When really you aren't small. Like, your followers and all that stuff might be small, but you are not small. I feel like we should all feel the permission to take up space. I definitely struggled with that. I used to think that I was doing something, but really Benjamin White played small a lot. You know, me having my movie night in the backyard and inviting like 20 people, you know, making it like small and exclusive. Like,
start thinking like, who am I to be doing this?
Right. Well, not even that. I thought that was doing something, but talking to my dad and talking to my uncle, it's like, you're playing small. Like, this can be way bigger than what you imagine. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we all kind of do that. Because we're small, we feel the need to not take up space. But I feel like we should feel the permission to take up space. You know, like, if we go Bible, your favorite character of David, right? Like, David was small. He was ordinary. He was a random shepherd boy. But when it came
definitely small beginnings with David.
Yeah, definitely small beginnings, right? But when Goliath was out there and you know, he waved his hand. He said, I'll go up there to take down Goliath, because he didn't play small when it came down to his moment. Same with people like Joseph, right? Joseph was in the pit. Joseph was a slave. He was in jail. But when it came time to show up for his gift of interpreting dreams, he showed up. He didn't say, "Oh, I'm a prisoner. I'm not doing that." But no, he used his gift. He knew what he was called to do, and he stood up to the moment. Do you think you struggle with playing small?
Absolutely. And first of all, I love what you just said. My audience definitely leans heavily to those who believe in Jesus Christ and, you know, God-fearing, because if my Father is the God of the universe, I made in his image and likeness, who am I to show up to these places small?
Yeah, come on.
As his child. That's a slap in his face.
Yeah, exactly.
For me to be showing up small anywhere.
Come on now.
If it's me being a barista at Starbucks, I'm gonna show up as the best barista at Starbucks.
Come on now.
But specifically in this space, I do think it's really easy to show up small because we see it done on such a big level.
Come on.
And it can seem so out of reach. And then you look at what we do, and then it's like, I actually want to go back just a bit. I love how every year for your birthday, you do the film festival thing. Like, that's amazing, and we're seeing it grow.
Oh, yeah.
It actually puts you ahead of Tyler Perry, actually, because people actually show up to your things.
I wouldn't say that, but hey, you know, all right. Yeah.
People actually show up.
Yeah.
And I think it does lean itself a little bit into comparison, because it's easy to see what someone else is doing and how big they're doing it, and then you're comparing it to what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it does make you feel kind of small sometimes.
Right.
The first time I was ever asked to DP like a commercial, I was almost overcome with fear, because I'm like, who am I? Even though I felt like I knew I had the technical ability to show up on a set and do a commercial, once I kind of understood what was required, the amount of fear and anxiety that I had, because I just felt like I didn't belong in that type of role.
Wow.
It took some time to kind of overcome that.
Yeah. No, yeah, it definitely does take time. And like you said, you have to remember that, you know, we do serve the God of the universe, right? Who created these big, beautiful things. And he created us in his image. So who are we to play small and to not use the gifts that he's given us, and to not shine our lights? And yeah, I definitely had to stop playing small and step out on faith and do that movie night in Cinemark, you know, after years of just having it in the backyard with 20 or so people, you know, and it was definitely scary. Like, I thought, you know, I was watching about Tyler Perry, and I'm like, man, this is gonna be, if this is gonna be a moment where I'm gonna rent out this theater and nobody shows up, hey,
so be it.
This is gonna be my failed big moment.
So
you know what I'm saying?
Do it scared.
You do it scared.
Like, going back to when I was asked to DP, that everything in me wanted to defer and be like, I'll just do BTS.
Playing small.
Playing small. I'll just do BTS photos.
Man.
I don't feel like I should be the DP of this. So that was like the instant first thought that came to mind when he asked me that.
Come on.
And like within that 10 seconds of me going back and forth in my head, I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. Had a whole panic attack about it later. But yeah, learning to not play small is a huge thing.
Oh man, definitely got to stop doing it and full on live in our truth and live in our gifts. I want to share this scripture when it comes to like sharing your light and being a light. It's Matthew 5 actually. It says, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." So in other words, like, nobody takes a candle and puts it under something, right? Like, you put it, you put it on display for other people to see. And what does that do? It lights up other people and inspires them. But then at the end of the day, when people see in your light shine, you'll then be able to reflect them back up to God who gave you that light.
And you're lighting the path now. People can now see the path because of you.
Come on now, exactly.
You can be the blueprint that someone needs to follow.
You could be, and it takes one person. Yeah. It just takes one person to do that. Is there, as we close up, is there anything else that you want to kind of give encouragement to people on these days of small beginnings?
Just start.
There we go.
Just start. Stop making excuses.
Come on now.
Just start.
I love it. Just start and just do it.
And it's okay to fail. You're going to fail. Expect to fail, and then get up. Fail forward. Fall forward.
Fall forward.
Get up and then keep moving.
Come on now.
That's like the lasting advice I would give people.
Yes, sir. I love that, bro. I love that. Well, I'm definitely inspired by this conversation. If this didn't inspire you, it inspired me. I think this is definitely for me today. And if you did take something from this conversation, drop it down in the comment section below. Any of the tips, any of the encouragements that we threw out there. If they did encourage you, throw it into the comment section. We really appreciate it. And consider subscribing to the channel so you can stay connected with us and see future episodes that we have coming up. Thanks to my boy Asher for coming through for me. Appreciate you, my guy.
Sir.
We'll catch you on the next one.
Peace.